So tonight we've got one of our own members, Valigrunt, being both Shane and Irmi, who are going to give us a story about the availability of Chrysler power steering boxes.
Now, as some of you probably know, we are manufacturing Chrysler power steering boxes for S-Series right through to CM Valiants. Obviously, there's a few different bolt patterns in those, but I've had a few customers ask for power steering in the past for slant 6 cars, and as you know, with slant 6s, there's not a great deal of room for a power steering box, because this is a factory power steering box that we have here. And as you can see, it's quite a behemoth of a thing, and weighs as much as almost like a small block Ford. But anyway, this is the steering box here. Now, that's it, how it comes, and it's a totally Australian-made casting. Now, as a reference, as you can see here, this is a manual steering box. Now, as you can see, in dimensional size, it's almost the same size, apart from the section here is slightly longer to house the power steering hoses. Now, the benefit of this steering box is it's 15:1, as well as the steering box. A few of the extra features is that it's not a light touch sort of steering. These are very, very light. So as you're driving down the road, they're feather light, so they're quite touchy when you're driving down the road. These have got more like the feel of a manual box when you're driving down the road, but when you go to park it, it feels nice and light. Another one of the benefits is it's all brand new, so you don't have to worry about everything wearing. And as anyone that has one of these steering boxes, they're quite hard to get seals for the main shafts now. Unless you've got the 1.25" sector shaft. You can still buy the seals for them, but not for the 1.8". Now, this just takes your original manual style and early power steering style fitment arm. We use a half coupler here, which just slides under there. If you've got a power steering column, we place one of these spacers, as you can see here, and that spacer sort of sits in like that into the coupler and sort of bolts together. If you've got a manual steering car, you have two choices. You can either put a vibration dampener in there and not run the half rag joint, or you can cut, if you're capable, you can cut the end of your shaft off of your manual steering column and re-weld it shorter. But I don't recommend doing it unless you're very
qualified.
Yeah, qualified. Yeah. But as you can see, dimensional wise, this steering box is actually physically smaller through here than the manual box, as well as on this end here. So if you've got a high performance Chrysler, or if you've got a Hemi conversion in your Chrysler, at least you can have power steering and have that feature comfort.
This one fits better with your extractors as well.
Correct. So a lot of guys are running those new pacemaker headers, and the new pacemaker headers are a lot larger in diameter, and they physically don't fit with the old power steering boxes. And me being, I like my creature comforts, decided it was time to invent these. So these are based off a Holden Rodeo sort of design box. So it's quite capable of carrying the weight. They're already engineered in New Zealand. We're still going through engineering here in Australia, but it should be.
You don't actually need them certified here because they're bolt-on.
Yes.
So they've been designed with engineers, but because they're bolt-on and you're not modifying your chassis or any of your steering or suspension components, they don't actually need to be. They pass roadworthy.
Yes.
So
yes.
And Victoria is one of the hardest states to get roadworthies through.
There has been problems in the past of steering boxes with weld-on brackets and stuff like that, which there's a few different ones where they've got a welded-on bracket from a XF Falcon that they're using in Valiance. But obviously the issue with that is it's all welded.
And these are cast.
Yeah.
So they're a brand new box cast.
Here in Dandenong. So they're cast in Dandenong, they're machined in Dandenong.
And they're just all made in Victoria.
Yeah.
So you can run your original pump, or you can run aftermarket Borgeson pump, or you can run an electric pump. It's up to you.
Now also too, come for a walk, and we'll show you one in the car so you can have a look.
Well,
We'll actually show you Irmi's price by Chrysler. So if you come through here.
Figured we've got 2 cars with them fitted in at the moment. It's a bit easier to show you while they're in. So mine's up on the hoist. Yep.
So as you can see here, there's the original fitment arm, and there you can see the adapter bolted on there.
Sorry, my phone is flipped on me, so bear with me.
So this is how it sits in the engine bay. As you can see, there's plenty of clearance for the original torsion bars, and also too the upgraded torsion bars, because there's a few issues with guys with the upgraded torsion bars that are a little bit heavier in design, having clearance issues with the steering box. And as you can see here, I can easily fit my finger in here around the steering box, where before you couldn't do that. So now that's it looking from underneath. Now if we go around here, we'll just go past the Firebird. We've got to go past the Firebird.
You wanted to see what was in our garage.
Get past the
Buick that's up here.
Get past the Buick. And underneath the Firebird, we have another valley, as you can see here. And this sort of gives you a view from the top, so you can sort of see what it looks like from the top.
You can get your clearances if you can sort of, sorry, bear with me. My camera phone has reversed everything, so it's a bit awkward filming that way. There you go. So, yeah, boxes we're also making for, because I know a lot of you guys have other cars as well. So they're available. Also, we make boxes for XY Falcon, FE all the way to HG Holden, and the Tri-5 Chevs in right-hand drive, so 55, 6, 7 Chevs as well. So, yeah.
Yes, also too, with the Holden ones, I don't know if you've got any friends that have early Holdens. As you know from HKTG Holden, they had a Ram-style power steering, and they were quite unreliable, always leaked. And again, they were like the Chrysler, they were feather light and too many turns to left to right. This steering box, again, 15-1, based on the Holden Rodeo box, but obviously all the internals are different, new. But you have the beauty of an integral power steering box with no control valves and power rams hanging underneath and hoses underneath your car. It's just a nice, clean steering box unit that fits with ease. The only thing is with the Holdens and the Fords, there has to be modification done to the column that's quite extensive. You have to actually cut the column back. So as the case of Holden and the Ford, if you've got column shift, the column shift has to be removed. It has to be a floor shift car, or if you've got column auto, we can do an adaptation so you can run a shifter cable instead of the mechanical linkage.
Okay. And I've got one Ford box in stock. All of my Holdens are gone, so I'll just give you a quick look at that.
They're being made at the moment, so there's some coming back in stock at the moment.
Holden's ones will be in by the end of the year. So, and that's one of the Ford boxes. So yeah, that's it. See if I can turn this back around. Ooh, maybe
Would
not.
you like me to put up the slides that we had to finish?
Yeah, sure. And we'll just run through it. I think we covered everything. Yep. So yeah, they're made in Australia.
So if you have any questions,
Yeah,
feel free to ask.
they're made in Australia. Modern power steering internals.
Get a lot of people asking me a question.
Whoa, can you not do that?
I'm going to turn it off.
There we go. Better?
Yes.
Shane was fiddling with his.
Little bit of
Told you not to touch it. So the prices for the box is they're $2,950 for the box. You've got half rag joint and the spacer uni joint, and I've got prices for aftermarket pump from Borgeson and bracket, which is $495 for the pump and $175 for the bracket. Plus, we've been posting everywhere. Actually, it's been selling a lot to New Zealand. So, yeah. Oh, Lee wants to know about the timing. The timing set behind you.
Oh, the timing set. This one.
Hang on. I'll flip the camera again.
All right,
I don't know if Mark will put me up.
there you go.
That work?
So this is for the true Mopar performance sort of guy that wants to go really fast. This is a Mopar belt drive kit that we sell here. This is made here again, made here in Australia by
Like
A&P
supporting
Belt Drives.
Australian Muscle Parts.
Yep, they do it for Holden and Ford small block.
Yep.
But the best part about these Chrysler ones, they do them for tall deck Chrysler, low deck Chrysler small block, as well as tall deck 440 and low deck, say 383 or up to 400. So these are quite unique. A lot of people say, oh, what's the benefit of having a belt drive unit? Well, it removes the engine harmonics through the valve train. So you get a smoother engine RPM, as well as with these, which I've watched on the dyno, which is quite a unique feature. Everyone talks about variable cam timing these days. With these units, you can set them up. So as an example, you've got 4 degrees of initial timing, so you get good performance down low. One of the good things about this is as the RPM gets higher, these actually pull the belt quite tight. And as the RPM gets higher and higher, they actually retard the timing. And as you know, you need to retard initial cam timing to get good performance up high. So that's one of the benefits that it has.
So a lot of the serious drag races, they run these.
Yeah.
So, and people go, oh, how long do the belts drive? Well, these guys have been doing passes for 2 years and the belts haven't gone. So
Yeah, they're a Kevlar belt. So as you can see here, if you look closely, they're a Kevlar lined belt. But again, made in Australia, which is great. We need to support everything that's made in Australia as much as humanly possible. But yeah, here's a
and there's one for Ford. He does them for Chev as well.
Yeah.
So yeah. Any other questions? Going to try and flip this again. There we go. Oh. Yeah, any other questions on any of that? Shane will answer them for you.
I'll both answer.
Yep. All right.
No, yes, no, maybe.
If anyone has a question, please feel free to ask.
You must have covered everything.
Okay.
Been answering that many of these questions. I think I know everything that people ask now.
Yeah, I like my steering box. It gives me good muscles. Gives me something to curse at when I can't get out of the bloody car park at the supermarket.
I like my soft muscles.
Oh no, I've got them too.
As I'm getting older, I'm enjoying my power steering. So
Sorry, Shane. What were those prices again for roughly for as a kit?
So you've got
Just for a belt?
So you've got $2,950 for the box. If you've got power steering, you've got $179 for the half rag joint and $80 for the spacer. There you go. And you can just run your OEM pump if you want and your pulley, but if you don't have one, you can get a Borgeson aftermarket one. The pump is $495 and the bracket set is 175. Or you can get an electric power steering pump, which a lot of people are using the Astra ones, the Holden Astra ones, and they're just mounting them in the boot.
Oh, or an inner guard. A Chrysler, you mount them on the inner guard. I got one on the inner guard of my Cuda.
So not much change out of about $4,000 for a kit.
No.
That's all right.
Oh, not really. Not for the Valiant ones. No.
The Valiant
Not-
ones.
Plus 179. You got
You'd be
about-
closer to, yeah, $4,000. Yep.
Yeah.
And there's not much change out of $4,000. Yeah. That's fair enough.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thanks, guys.
No worries.
And you keep them in stock, or is it special orders, or?
At the moment,
Right.
we're making them as fast as we're selling them.
Yes,
Right.
that's
Okay.
That's one of the downsides. Australian manufacturing's picked up quite a lot, so we sort of got to push our way in the line, if you know what I mean,
Yeah,
to try and get this stuff
and
made.
we're getting boxes running through the foundry every month. Initially, we were just going to make 10 and see how it went, and they sold within 2 weeks.
Mm.
So they went really quickly. The HK ones go even faster.
One consolation though, if anyone needs a surplus of original factory style OEM power steering units, I have a surplus of them that I sell very, very cheaply now. And I mean, I have a surplus.
There's a lot.
Yes.
Look, the Holden guys really, really suffer because really they just have a poor steering system to begin with.
Yeah, like a forklift.
And their only alternative they had before after that was rack and pinion. And
Yeah. And when you consider rack and pinion, like a lot of the Chrysler guys have been doing, because for some of the Chrysler guys, they found that the manual steering is a little bit too heavy, and they're starting to be hard to find boxes and getting them repaired at the moment. So, and a lot of them are passing roadworthies. And with the power steering, they found that it's too light and too floaty when you get to speed. So these boxes are just sort of ticking all the boxes. Also, too, the guys that are converting to rack and pinion, honestly, telling you the truth, I haven't found a rack and pinion setup yet that I could actually say is really good. Because of the size of the rack and how low it has to be mounted underneath the torsion bars, there's issues with bump steer. Now, normally to alleviate bump steer when you've got a rack that hangs a little bit lower, is what you can do is you can put a rose joint with an extended bolt off the bottom of the ball joint on the lower control arm, and you can lower it and get the bump steer sort of half reasonable. But there's still issues with setting all that up. You still have problems with them sketching left and right. And when you set them up and you get them set up right, you find that rose joint sits so low, it almost sits as low as the rim. And a lot of engineers just won't pass them. The only other alternative is to remove your torsion bars altogether and go like a coil over system, like some of these systems that they sell in America. But with Australian roads, a lot of these front end kits are literally falling apart. I'm actually removing them out of cars and going back to OEM suspension arms. They didn't create suspension arms that were pressed out of one piece of steel for no reason and riveted. A lot of these suspension arms that you buy that are tubular and welded just can't handle our roads, and they fall apart.
My suspension's good. Steering's heavy when the wheels aren't pumped up high enough, but it's all good.
Put front runners on it. That'll fix it.
Yeah, 100 feet aside, I'll fix that.
I just kick the kids out of the back and then it'll go faster. Well, thank you very much, guys. That was great. Great chat with you. Thank you for running us through your steering boxes and whatnot. So hopefully there's some people out there that want to stop working out every time they drive their car and go on down and see you.